Thinking of undertaking a property development? Perhaps you've got land that's absolutely ripe for redevelopment, or indeed you're looking to expand your knowledge in this highly technical field. Whatever your situation, let me share with you an insight into the world of property developing. Damian Coad is my name, and since 1998 I've been successfully undertaking a number of developments around Melbourne. And I want to share with you my aim today, and that's to simply help prevent you from making the same expensive mistakes that I see a lot of investors and developers make. So please enjoy this video, and thanks for watching. In this video, we will start by assessing the duties of the local council and their role in the town planning process. The Town Planning Department at the appropriate local council is established to provide general advice, enable preliminary planning meetings, accept town planning permit applications, and facilitate all matters applicable to the town planning permit process. The town planning delegates employed by council are bound by a long list of rules, protocols, and procedures. Planners must ensure that certain minimum standards are included into any application, and that application process is undertaken in a prescribed period of time. Now, town planning requirements are strictly controlled by Res Code, and if you are keen to know more about the requirements of Res Code, I welcome you to view the link at the bottom of this slide. Within both Res Code and via the various council websites, you will find information relating to street setbacks, building heights, site coverage, permeability, side and rear setbacks, walls on boundaries, daylight to existing windows, north-facing windows, overshadowing, overlooking, daylight to new windows, and private open space. The distance a building is located from the front, side, or rear of the title boundary is referred to as the setback. Information relating to setbacks are discussed both within Res Code and also within zoning and planning schedules. When assessing a development site, it's very important to note the setbacks of neighbouring allotments, as council will look to ensure consistency in the street is retained. And here's a big tip for you. It's certainly well worth learning how to do a preliminary sketch of the proposed site, like the one shown on this slide, noting as many measurements as possible. This will be valuable for you when you communicate with your architect or draftsperson. In fact, they'll love you for it. One of the biggest mistakes first-time developers often make is failing to check the location of various assets such as trees, power poles and fire hydrants located along nature strips. Some development sites become impossible to develop as a direct result of trees, bus stops and large power poles being on that nature strip. A number of years ago I was forced to pay over $20,000 to move a pole about 400mm. Fortunately, I had allowed this in the feasibility. Maximum building height specifications are noted in both zoning and schedule information for each property. Council will also refer to the existing neighbourhood streetscape. Within most suburban localities, councils will restrict building height to only 2 levels. Overshadowing and overlooking will also be considered when assessing an application. Typically, each level is required to be recessed to its smaller form when compared to the level below it. In other words, each level you go up, the smaller that floor area becomes. Private open space relates to the amount of available space each dwelling is required to have as a private courtyard or open space. Res Code specifies a minimum of 40 square metres of private open space per dwelling. However, a majority of councils require considerably more. These requirements are commonly noted within the zoning schedules, and these schedules are available from council and also online. Let me tell you about the biggest trap for first-time developers building 3 or more units. It's what's often referred to as the private open space contribution. Now, I'm going to read this slide as it's critical that you remember this information. When 3 or more units are planned for a site, an additional fee is often required by the local council. This amount is generally based on a percentage of the land value. A valuation is undertaken by council whereby each site is valued independently on a per-site basis. If an existing property is involved within the development, this property too is subject to the contribution. The percentage often rises in accordance with the number of properties planned for the site. One council in Victoria enforces a rate of 8% of land value. A common fee is between 2 to 5%. Before you undertake a development that's affected by the private open space contribution, please ensure that you are familiar with the specific percentage that particular council enforces. Often councils will not disclose this information until much later in the development, so it's very important that you ask them up front. Landscape plans are required in the initial application process, and strict landscaping conditions are usually noted in the planning permits. Councils will ensure that these plans and conditions are followed to the letter, and will check to ensure the works are completely undertaken before allowing you to occupy a new dwelling. Landscaping bonds, that are often refundable, may be required by some councils, so you need to allow this in your budget. Aboriginal significant zones. If your property is within an ASZ or you're looking to build 3 or more properties, you may find yourself being required to pay a consultant who will be engaged to write a report about that site's history and its relevance to the Aboriginal people. Some sites may even require you to have an archaeological dig. Some developers I know have spent thousands of dollars dealing with Aboriginal significant zones. For more information about ASZs, please refer to this website. Andrew Long's team have been very helpful in explaining the impacts of ASZ. Please call them if you'd like to discuss your particular site. Further information has been compiled for you and is available for free. If you'd like a copy of this publication, simply write or phone us today. When the time comes for you to sell your development project, it's absolutely essential that you achieve the greatest financial return over your renovation or development. The risk you've taken deserves its rewards. Thank you for watching this video. Feel most welcome to give me a call directly about any matter that I can help involving property development and your needs. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy other videos soon to come.